Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Bill Allen, sitting in for Winston Chester on this Thursday, March the 28th. We have a great show lined up for you, some updates regarding the hurricane, and also some great footage from a recent tournament that I think you'll really enjoy. We want to take a look at the weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. The high today, 73 with the low around 52. Got a wind at 8 to 10 miles per hour. Water temperature is still hovering around that 68 degree mark, you know, getting close to some explosion here soon. Tides today, the 3:15 this morning was the low, but you have a high tide this afternoon at 3:20, and it's going to move about 1.4 feet or something like that. So if you like to fish a falling tide, which is my favorite, this afternoon late is probably a good time, and it coordinates with the peak times today at 6:32 p.m. to 8:32 p.m. So it should be a great day if you can get out. Apalachicola River at Bluntstown, 9.7 feet. Thank goodness. It's falling. There's a slow fall Sunday. It should be like at 8.7 feet. Just remember, I've said this over and over again, if you're down there and you're running around, there's a lot of things that have been pulled out of the woods with this really high water. Stumps and logs, well, not stumps, but logs and debris that you have to be really careful running around out there. But that is fantastic news, and got to get built and head to the houseboat. So Choctawhatchee River at Caryville is 6.3, and it's kind of steady right now, and we do have some rain coming late in the weekend that may have some effect on things here, but for right now, river's in great shape. So we're going to go ahead and take a first break and come right back with our special guest. Hey, and welcome back. I am joined here by a familiar face. It's our Panama City Mayor, Mr. Greg Brudnicki.
Hey, Bill.
And Greg has, you're spending like half your time in Tallahassee now, right?
Well, not quite half, but been over there working with legislators and talking to Department of Emergency Management.
So, and I know
trying to get all our progress sheets turned in so that we can start getting some reimbursement for all the money that the city's been spending. So was over there yesterday, had a very productive day yesterday, and so thought I would come on today to let people know we've had a lot of questions about debris removal in the city and when the dates are, because you know all the different municipalities and counties have had different times and dates of when they were to stop things. So I wanted to let people know this morning that we're going to be picking up debris until May the 10th, and so we want people to, you know, get their stuff out there. And then we now have personal property debris removal, which some cities have it, some don't. We've got that okay from FEMA. And what you have to do is, if you are underinsured or uninsured, or still, if there are still debris in your home, to see if you qualify, you can go to Lake Huntington, the clubhouse, to sign up, or at the substation on Martin Luther King. Those are two different places that you can go sign up for this personal property debris removal. That way, if you have things, white goods, you know, refrigerators and things like that in your home that got destroyed, put them out by the road and we will pick them up if you qualify for this program.
That's great.
So we want to let people know that that's available, and some of the things that we've been working on lately. Also want to give you a little update about our marinas.
Yeah.
You know, we had FSU and our fire department and Division of Forestry put together a plan to sonar both marinas, because we had so much debris, you know, that's down there from the pilings and boats and pieces and parts of whatever was there that has to be cleaned up. And we're expecting, now right now you can use the St. Andrews Marina. Got to be very careful, the landing, very careful going out there. within the next few weeks, we should be opening the boat landing downtown.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we'll give people plenty of notice to let them know. We want to make sure there isn't stuff and trash and things in the way. We don't want people to, you know, put their boats in, finally get to go fishing, and wham, you hit something. So we want to make sure that that's all clear.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, fantastic. And I know that there's a lot of priorities that probably are ahead of boat ramps, but I appreciate the fact that you are putting some time and putting some people on it, that you understand how important it is for us to be able to get back on the water, to get out. You know, the Spanish are coming, followed by the King and everything. So, you know, the ability to get back to some sort of a normal,
Absolutely.
the new normal, but to be able to get into the water, I know everybody appreciates.
Got to have quality of life. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's only so much of this that we can take where, you know, we've got to, people have got to have a sense of normalcy, as you say. And one of the ways to do that is to take advantage of our waterways. Now, you know, we've had lay down areas for construction and stuff over at Carl Gray Park. So we haven't been able to go ahead, and we've got the funding available to go ahead and finish Carl Gray.
Yeah, and then it's
right,
unusable right now.
Then the storm hit. So and the same thing with, we want to get started with our Snug Harbor over there, and of course get the downtown marina landing cleared also. So question of, right now we're still working on, we're not letting people go out there on the marina in Panama City because we're working to fix the Civic Center.
There's some significant damage down there.
A lot of damage, and we're waiting for engineering reports to see if it's 50% damaged, if that building will be able to be salvaged, or if we will fix it. So in the meantime, there's a lot of work going on, a lot of construction, a lot of debris and stuff that's there, and so we don't want to, you know, have people. We want to clear it, get it open as soon as we can, but we want to make sure that there isn't, you know, we don't want to create any more problems than we have to. So. It's all still picking up. We have now cleared 13 miles of ditches in the city. We've got 35. There's 13 that are cleared. We have picked up 36 years worth of debris so far. We, you know, 100,000 cubic yards a year. We've picked up 3.6 million cubic yards so far. We got to get all these ditches clear.
You know, when you hear the numbers,
flow,
it just gets a little staggering.
It's astronomical, and but you know, to preclude having any flooding. You know, we've got to get these stormwater ditches cleared. So
sure, sure, and it's you know, you've got the regular long range and short range plans for the city, and then now the hurricanes changed everything. So you're trying to work. I'm assuming the plan's already in place with the long range plans. You know, to make it better is just a constant moving target.
No, we're about to have in fact, St. Joe Company Thursday afternoon is going to start a town meeting process where they're going to get people's ideas for what they think should be on the marina, where they're talking about putting a hotel. So that process starts tomorrow, which is really neat. We're going to have total citizen involvement, let people know, give them the ability to
I know we could talk about this for about 2 hours.
Yeah,
we have limited time here this morning, so I just want to thank you for the effort. And
Sure.
Hey, good. Welcome back, and we've switched guests now. My buddy Mark Cowart's here.
Hey, Captain Bill, how are you?
And Mark has some real interesting stories from this last tournament that are really fantastic. Kind of what went on, but and set it up too. I mean, this tournament that you fished in was a TV event for Discovery Channel, right?
Yes, absolutely. So the Elite Series is kind of like the NFL or NBA or Major League Baseball level of fishing. The IFA is right there with it, but the Elite is really the Elite. It's just, it really recognizes what it is. So the Elite's on the Discovery Channel. So this event was called the All-Star, and it was a limited field. You know, Michael and I had the opportunity to fish it, which we did. We were very honored to fish it, had a great time doing it. The first day is a 3-day tournament. There's a final day cut. They call it the Super Six. The top 6 teams fish the last day. And so Michael and I ended up with a camera guy on the boat the first day. And we're the featured team. awesome experience for us. The technology that's on the water today for filming is beyond. It's unbelievable. I mean, there's voice control and voice activated cameras, all kind of crazy stuff. But it's a whole nother story. So it was out of Grand Isle. Michael and I found our fish about an hour away. Which is kind of getting to be the typical situation now. You got to get as far away as you can get. That's just kind of our mentality from everybody else. So we get in, and and we got a couple of short clip of some of this. I don't know when this will air. I mean, when it'll be coming up here in a minute. But so this is a 5-fish event in Louisiana per day, and obviously red fishing is a conservation-based series, no matter what tour you're on. And, your goal is to keep those fish alive. 5 fish is a challenge, especially in Louisiana. In our 10 fish that we caught over 2 days, with the exception of 1 fish, we average 8.5 pounds of fish. To keep that many fish alive, that big, is somewhat of a challenge by itself.
And you really can't do it in one live well.
No. We were fortunate. Most people have to add a big cooler, and they put air heads and all kind of max air systems in it to keep the air rotating through it. We're really lucky in the Mayak. It's got a front live well and a back live well, both aerated, both have max air on it, so you're really able to maintain your fish. Anyway, just kind of skip through this. The first day, the first part of the day was epic. I mean, we had just about 32, 33 pounds in the boat with 4 fish. And that's an 8-pound, it's 8-pound average, which is awesome.
Good.
Our goal was 35 pounds a day. We thought 70 pounds would make the cut. We were actually underestimated that weight because it took more than that. It took about 79 pounds to make the cut at the end. But so Michael and I coming along, we end up with 1 fish. The last fish I caught it was a 2-pound redfish. Now that 2-pound redfish here, it's an 18-inch fish. They're everywhere. Over there, you don't really see that many small redfish in those type ponds because it's such an aggressive and active feeding area. That fish has survived in there. It'll obviously grow, but we ended up with this 2-pound fish, and we had 2.5 hours to cull that fish. After we had caught fish pretty consistently all morning, we end up in the last 2.5 hours unable to cull this fish. And, the lessons we learned from that are so dynamic. We ended up kind of getting in a somewhat of a panic rush mode, trying to go ahead and just get it over with, that we started, and we're sight fishing. In some of the video you'll see that how it really works. It's really see a fish, present the bait in front of it. And some of them are harder to get to eat than others, but typically if you see a fish, especially if it's facing away either right or left from you, you can normally bring a bait in front of them and they'll eat. It's the way we prefer it to be. So we just never could cull this fish. We get back to the weigh-in, and everybody's looking at our bag. We got this beautiful bag of fish, and this one little 2-pounder's hid in the bottom. Nobody sees it. Well, we're going to go on stage, and it's you can see the weigh-ins live on Facebook. Of course, there's cameras everywhere for Discovery and the production company. But all of a sudden, everybody realizes that we've got this 2-pound fish. Everybody's thinking we got 40, 42 pounds the first day, and then they see this one fish. We get up on stage, and we weigh in 34.8181, just barely under 35. So, I mean, we're just so disappointed in ourselves because we felt like we really screwed this thing up. Well, Michael and I went back that night and changed our game plan, and we realized what we had done wrong is that we had rushed it. So we decided the next day we're going to slow down and then just start applying a little bit less pressure to the fish to be more picky on the cast, and ended up with 42 pounds the first day, missed the cut by 2.39 pounds. And that was a 1 in 6 chance to win $60,000. So, I mean, it's really hard to swallow. The worst case is, you had a shot at 4 to 8,000, I think, is the last Super 6 team. But, and we've got some pictures that we'll show you. But it was a great event. There is now a series there's a tournament at the end of the year now called the Redfish World Series. And the Redfish World Series is a point-based of all the professional anglers fishing the 3 or 4 professional tours, and you get points for your finishes. Our goal was to obviously finish in the top 10 because we get World Series points.
Yeah.
We finished 8th, so we picked up 3 points for that. 10th place is 1 point. First place is 10. The previous tournament, the IFA, we finished 5th, so we got 6 points for it. So we've got 9 points so far. There is a tournament in 2 weeks here, not this weekend, the next weekend, out of over off Grand Lagoon, Treasure Island Marine Max. That is a power pole series, which is the grown-up version of the Florida Pro. Now it's a regional thing where the championship's in Louisiana. $20,000 first place in that event, but you can get points for this. So then we turn around right around in 3 weeks, go back to Louisiana to an elite open. It's called a team open. They'll have about 100 or so teams in it, and fishing out of Slidell.
So you know the road between here and Louisiana.
Oh my gosh, man! All roads to tournament red fishing leads to Louisiana. It seems like
it takes a tremendous commitment to fish that much. So we've got some video and some pictures coming up from this. So we're going to go ahead and take a break and come right back. We're back. And we're going to roll the video now, and Mark, I think, will be able to kind of comment over the top of it for us.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So Michael and I what we're doing is that we're fishing from a 6.5-foot tower that Dustin at Panama City Power Coat made for us, and and it's all sight fishing. Everything is sight fishing based. That's all we're doing. And these are just a few B-roll clips that they allowed us to have to share, and and you can see when we come in, I mean, you're seeing a fish, you're waiting, and you're making a presentation to that fish. This one, I almost knocked Michael off the tower when I did the hook set. The fish was up there. Michael missed it. And I threw out past it and kind of waited to see which direction he was going to go, and he changed directions, and it ends up I had my bait right in front of him, and then he ate going the other way, so to set the hook, I almost got knocked Michael off the tower.
No, he's young.
Yeah, he could survive off that. Of course, if you fell in the water, you stick in that silt, you'd be down about. If I went down, they'd never see me again. And but it's really interesting how the fishing is there. I mean, it's very selective. You're trying to pick the right fish to throw at. This is all day 2 footage, not day 1 footage. And like I say, we had 42 pounds that day. We ended up throwing weedless eye jig heads, 3/16 size, with a Z-Man Easy shrimp, kind of trimmed down a little bit off the head just to make it a little bit smaller, putting a little bit of Procure on it. And that turned out to be the trick. If we had gone to that early enough on the first day, we certainly would have culled up. This eat right here was crazy. Michael saw this fish from the backside of this little cut and threw across the actual piece of land there to get him, and then the fish missed the first bite. Hopefully they'll show this on TV when it airs on Discovery this fall. And Michael just waits it out. I mean, and you're watching the fish, you're watching it eat. Everybody goes to Louisiana. I've said this before, Bill. They go to Louisiana, and they go to Venice and catch the bull reds. These are slot fish by and large.
Yeah.
They're 8.5 pound, 9 pound, 27-inch fish, and we're throwing 13 fish in Omen green rod, 6.8 to 7.2 with their bait casters, 13 fish and bait casters. They're amazing. They're so accurate, and all we're doing is waiting them out, and so. For us, what we end up finding out is that, the fish will eat one thing one day and not something the next day, just like it is here.
Yeah.
It's really all driven. And so it was a great day. I mean, that second day, that 42 pounds was maybe an epic. Michael has a vlog on his YouTube channel. He posts almost every day now. And he was talking about how epic it was, how just remarkable that day ended up being.
Yeah, yeah.
So
what a treat, man.
It was unbelievable. To get to do it with Michael is huge. And we're blessed that we get to do this. It's for Michael, it is his career. For me, it's almost like a second job that's fun, but exhausting. I mean, you're talking about every day you're pre-fishing out on that water. Then the tournament day comes, and then it's a grind that day.
Well, I know you went over there several days early.
Yeah, we went there the Friday before, a week before.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event, so you ended up losing Thursday and Friday as a pre-fishing day.
Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I want to bring something up here real quick. We're running out of time. Dalton called me yesterday on the way home, and a friend of his had gone to one of these big box stores, let's say.
Okay.
and wanted to start to eat freshwater fish some, but he wanted to start saltwater fishing. He wanted to trout and redfish. And what he basically came away with was a rig that'd be excellent for trolling for king.
Oh, no doubt. That's the way
With
it
line
always
on
is.
it, that would be perfect for redfish or trout. And it was monofilament. And Dalton's like, you know, he said, can you believe that? We always talk about, you know, the shop local and support
That's right.
local businesses. I mean, I'm a local businessman. Mark is in real estate. And, you know, if you're thinking about updating equipment or you're just wanting to get started to do some of the things that we've talked about, the type of fishing that we do, you know, go to these local places where people
That's right.
fish. Go to Blue Water, go talk to those guys. They fish over there. And you're not going to get loaded up by somebody who was, you know, working at a fast food restaurant. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not a prerequisite for selling you a bunch of stuff that you don't need.
That's right.
You know, if you've got questions, I mean, you know, email them to Winston, direct them to me and through Panhandle Outdoors, and we can just talk about the size of the stuff you need or what you might be looking for or what you want to fish. Mark's got a Facebook page, email. I know you don't mind.
I do. You know, we get phone calls all the time from people. We do seminars, and we'll get phone calls a month and a half, 2 months later, somebody asking a question. I encourage that. Again, I know I grew up fishing, and my daddy taught me how, and I started red fishing. Bill showed me how to red fish. I caught my first redfish with Bill, which is, I tell that to everybody.
Yeah.
But you can't ask someone who doesn't know, and you get the correct advice here. You just can't. You don't ask your hairdresser for tax advice. You don't do that. You go to somebody that knows, and that's the same as this. You can throw a lot of money away.
Yeah. You can throw a lot of money away on stuff, and Dalton's just like, Dad, how do they do that? And I said, look, they're just in there selling stuff. You know, shop local, go to these places, talk to them. If you're in, you know, St. Joe, go to Blue Water. These people fish. The people fish at these local shops. They're doing that because they love to do that.
That's right.
Appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the show, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.